A young slave boy stood one day before the greatest ruler of his day. And God said to Moses, "What's in your hand?" And Moses said, "Lord, only I've got a stick, that's all." He said, "Well, let me use what's in your hand." And God used that slave boy with a stick in his hand to divide the Red Seas, march through a wilderness, bring water out of rocks, manna from heaven, and bring his people to freedom land. What's in your hand? What's in your hand? George Washington Carver, who was so frail that he was traded for a broken-down horse as a slave boy. And George Washington Carver, sitting in the science laboratory at Tuskegee, told me, he said, "Dr. Powell," he said, "I just go out in the fields each morning at 5 o'clock, and I let God guide me. And I bring back these little things and work them over my laboratory." And that man did more to revolutionize the agricultural science of peanuts and of cotton and sweet potato than any other human being in the field of agricultural science. What's in your hand? Just let God use you, that's all. What's in your hand? I've got a string in my hand, that's all, and I'm flying a kite. And way up in the heavens, lightning strikes it. And I, Benjamin Franklin, discover for the first time the possibilities of electricity with a string in my hand. What's in your hand? Little hunchback sitting in a Roman jail? I haven't got anything in my hand but an old quill pen, but God says, "Write what I tell you to write." Paul wrote, "I have run my race with patience. I have finished my course. I've kept the faith. Henceforth is laid up to me." What's in your hand, little boy? All I've got is a slingshot. And the enemies of my people are great and big and more numerous than we are. Well, little David, go down to the brook and pick out a few stones and come on back. And close your eyes if you want to and pull back that slingshot and let it go. And David killed the biggest enemy, the leader of the giants, against his people. And his people became free, just letting God guide a stone in his hand. And a few years passed and David is a king. And God says, "What's in your hand?" He said, "I've got a harp in my hand." He said, "Well, David, play on your harp." And he played, "The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Maketh me to lie down in green pastures. Leadeth me beside still waters. Yea, though I walk through the valley in the shadow of death, I'll fear no evil." What's in your hand? What's in your hand? Man hanging on a cross. I've got 2 nails in my hand. Father, I stretch my hands to thee. No other help I know. If thou withdraws thyself from me, whither shall I go? And that man, with 2 nails in his hands, split history in half, BC and AD. And what's in your hand tonight, people of Cambridge? You've got God in your hand, and he'll let you win, because he's on your side and one with God. Always in the majority, so walk with him, and talk with him, and work with him, and stick together, and fight together, and with God's hand in your hand, the victory will be accomplished here sooner than you dreamed, sooner than you hoped, sooner than you prayed for, sooner than you imagined. Good night, and God bless you.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced this evening. Okay, the air date of this episode is July 22nd, 2025. Okay, as I stated before, there's some new rule changes of engagement that will be going on here. When we said rule changes of engagement, we're talking about, dealing with the platform of Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. It's like this. When someone is talking, okay, we'll let them finish. Then when we comment, then we'll respond, to their comments. When I'm talking, everybody, be cool until I finish talking, in which case after I finish talking, I will mute my mic and then it'll be open up to comments, counter comments, and what have you, okay? We're not dealing with no foolishness. We're not dealing with no cussing. It's because we're not going to get shut down. Okay, and as you know, ladies and gentlemen, the top story tonight is, the death of actor Malcolm Jamal Warner. He was 54 years of age. He had drowned, and I got information that it was out in Costa Rica, of which he did. So, quite naturally, of course, our condolences go to his family, goes to his friends, loved ones, and what have you. Okay, I think he was a pretty good actor coming up. It's because I've seen him in a couple of other shows, not shows, but a couple of movies where he was playing some good roles, and he was a very, very good actor. You know what I mean? And also, too, he had a lady friend of his that transitioned years ago by the name of Ms. Michelle Thomas. And from what I understand, he took it pretty hard, that I can understand. So let's get on with it. And the news that just came across my desk, the Martin Luther King Jr. files have been released. Okay. And from what I understand is that Dr. King's family, didn't want this here to happen, but they did it. Okay. So we're going to give everybody a moment, here to introduce themselves. Okay, so we're gonna go to our man here, Mr. Lion. Okay, and
Right.
so we need. Okay, his mic is on mute. We got Sister Iket Kaba with us. Her mic is on muted.
Everybody,
Okay.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, support the show so we can keep
Absolutely.
it strong.
And then, of course, we got our man here, Brother Joe. It was always a pleasure. Had a very, very excellent conversation with Joe yesterday. And then, of course, too, we have Iolda with her, the Queen Mother, and also, too, Queen Mother, feel free to unmute your mic, ma'am, at any time, okay? And let's get the show.
Can I ask you one question?
Yeah.
Okay, so the film that you just showed, I know, you forget, just different names. I just need to know the name of who was actually speaking at his speech. I remember his face and everything, but what is his name?
His name was Adam Clayton Powell Jr. He was a congressman.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, he was a congressman out of New York. He was kicked out of the U.S. Congress is because he had advocated for Black power. Okay, what is Black power? That there's us being economically self-sufficient, that there's us being educationally self-sufficient, that there's us being socially self-sufficient. Okay, is because for some odd reason in the history of this country right here, they state, that what we do to ourselves. Now, for those of you with the FBA philosophy, okay, you're not going to come on the show and contradict what we say. Okay, so I'm making that plain right now. Okay, it's because I get tired of going back and forth. You see what I mean? Now, if you want to claim the blood of the rape and slave trade and pedophile, that's up to you. It does not apply to me. And then someone, had made the statement that says that Shabaka does not like African coffee. I love African coffee. So that individual has been disengaged. He knows who he is, from Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. If he pops up in here, he will be booted out, okay? Because I'm not going to sit up here and go back and forth over nonsense, okay? And then we have something here in the private chat. And then, we're going to turn it over to the Queen Mother. And Queen Mother, ma'am, please unmute your mic and feel free to comment at any time. And I'm seeing something here in the chat. Okay. Okay, Black Joe.
That's right, Black Joe.
Oh, okay, come on.
Black race, Black power, Black race first. What I want to say, I'm sending power energy out to the show from the ancestors. The ancestors is with all of us, and we got to know that the ancestors is the ones who protect us, take care of us, and walk with us. Black power.
Always. Okay. And thank you, ma'am. Okay. And then on top of it as well there too, with me being a diasporic African, and diaspora means spread out. And also too, I've been speaking with people because people have been asking me evidence to prove it. So I am getting the evidence right there. If you go to the like page of Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, okay, there's a map up there of the routes of the slave ships, okay. The biggest slave ports was Charleston, South Carolina, New Orleans, Louisiana, Mobile, Alabama. Okay. It is because if we were truly American citizens, then we would not be having all these questionable police killings. Also, too, up on my YouTube channel, I deleted all my videos. The reason why I deleted all my videos is because YouTube wanted me to pay them to circulate my videos. Okay, so that's why they all have been deleted. I will be making some in the future as soon as we find out, how we can secure it. Okay, all right. So that is my opening statement. Okay, and turn it over to. But I got a question for the Queen Mother. Okay, Queen Mother. Okay. When they was doing all those clandestine tape recordings on Martin Luther King that they just released, that I read here in the local newspaper. Okay, what was it like at that time, Queen Mother? And please elaborate, ma'am, because I was a child.
Black Power, I was a child too, because when Martin Luther King got assassinated, my sister was born 1968, so the year that he got assassinated, my sister was born. And when the stuff was going on, my grandfather was a civil rights leader, so he walked beside Martin Luther King. And they used to go out and walk and protest he used to go all over the world. Atlanta, he used to go to Alabama, Tennessee, he used to go all over. And during that time of the civil rights, the white people was more worse then than they is now. The generation that's growing up now is not as racist as it was when I was growing up. It was very racist when I was growing up. It was sundown towns everywhere. Black people wasn't allowed to be out. And when the lights could come on at 6 o'clock, you better be in the house. So that's what was going on. Black Power.
Thank you, Queen Mother. Okay.
One of the things that I want to just comment on that, what she was saying is that it's very interesting how the corporation wants to turn around, and during the time that they are getting all these files dealing with Epstein, that they want to turn around and work their magic to dishonor Martin Luther King. And one of the things that people have to understand and realize is they were trying to assassinate Martin Luther King's character the whole time, back to back. They was trying to create information on him, or saying that he was doing this, or saying that he was doing that. Even try to come in between his family. But see, look, this is the thing. Think about it. Now, you already know that the target date is on a reprimand, along with his behavior, his pedophile behavior, his freakazoid behavior, and at the same time, they want to try to turn around, because you already know. That's their files. And then they're turning around, and after the family told them not to, they're adding stuff in, taking stuff out, burning, just like they're doing with the CDC files. That's a whole nother situation. But they want to put Martin Luther King in a category like them. You see what I'm saying? So here it goes again, the distraction, right? They're going to have you, instead of you focusing on all the riffraffs and everything that they doing, you're going to say, well, then they're going to have you hating another black man, right? They're already trying to erase all our history from our children. So now they're trying to put together this analogy for you to dislike or dishonor another black man. And I yield. And all this stuff is orchestrated.
Indeed it is, sister. Indeed it is. And what it is that J. Edgar Hoover had stated that black unity was a threat to national security. Now, what happened to the people's right to assemble? You see what I'm saying? What happened to the people's right of free speech that the First Amendment says that you have? Just like how they're manipulating the press, you see, coming up here, you know, with all these lies and what have you, and of how they are perpetuating their self-hatred, okay? And then the sad part about it is, of course, you know, the Hollywood industry does a great deal of that. See, so, you know, we got to tell our own story. You say, we got to tell our own story. Now, Tyler Perry, I appreciate what he's did with Tyler Perry Studios, okay? But Mr. Perry thought that he was going to buy into Paramount Pictures, and they told him no. Just like the brother, Robert Johnson, who sold BET, okay? He thought that he was going to go up there and buy United Airlines. They told him no. So this here should be more and more reason of us building up our own infrastructures, okay? And then these new rules are going to be adhered to the utmost. You see, is because you know, we putting a lot of effort off into it. We've put a lot of effort off into it over the years. Okay, and as stated right here, Brother Joe says, Black Joe, when people show you character flaw, believe them. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to unmute your mic, Brother Joe, and please explain that, sir.
I'm a big believer in guilt by association, right? So,
okay.
So when people like, a lot of people like to overlook the wrong and the bad that men and women do because of the good that they've done. When they revert back to the underlying bad once they make it into their position, you know. Tyler Perry, he didn't gave a lot of people positions and jobs and stuff. Yes, true enough. But let me ask you this. If Tyler Perry wasn't rich, would you allow him to watch your grandkids?
Hell no.
So you know, yeah, that's my point. I can't look past a lot of the devious and evil dastardly deeds these men and women have done. That's why I get a lot of backlash. That's why I said in the comment section, when a person show you flaw in their character, believe them. Now, after they show you, if you choose to deal with them and still collaborate with them, if that rubs off on you and tarnishes your image, remember, they showed you flaw. Okay. You signed up for it.
Okay. Yeah, that holds water. It holds water. It holds water. Now, also, too, when you have Black individuals, you know, diasporic Africans and what have you, that want to build up the people. And as Malcolm said, the white man's greatest tool has been to divide and conquer, okay? So you had those of outside forces that do that, is because they are in fear of our unity. And really, there's nothing to be in fear of. All we are saying is we need...
I want to ask a question. Why would, okay, even with all the money that our ancestors made, or just like the people you just mentioned, why turn around and want to buy their, and if you got enough money to turn around and buy NBC, if you got enough money to turn around and buy CBS, if you have enough money to turn around and buy Paramount Studios, if you have enough money to buy out Amazon, why can't you turn around and take that same amount of money you have and create your own? Why do we constantly have to feel as if we have to get acceptance from them in order to say, hey, like beating your chest, oh, I am mad now, hear me roar, let me put this down there to see myself soar. And exactly, to see yourself soar. So it has nothing to do with the community. It has nothing to do with brothers and sisters all together. It's all about you saying that, yeah, now I'm in the limelight, I got some skrill, so this is what I'm going to do. But if you have that much money, why not create your own? Nobody sits around and talks about Kathy Hughes. Kathy Hughes turned around and she created her own, and she has not sold out. Kathy Hughes has not. She still have her shows, and she did it on her own by sleeping in her radio station at night to start her own business, and not only by herself, but also with her child until she made it to where she needed to go. Where is that resilience at? You know?
Okay. All right, because see, that's what they don't teach off in the public indoctrination centers, you see, commonly referred to as the public schools, you see. And then on top of it is that, as Malcolm X said, that only a fool will send his child to be educated by the oppressor, you see. And I think, and then as Black Joe says right here, because you got these black gatekeepers of technology, you see what I mean? And we're not going to mention their names, but they know who they are. Now, Joe, please unmute your mic, sir, and tell us of any ideas that you might have, you know, to prevent the gatekeeping of the technology within the Black community, sir.
Well, this is what I mean when sisters say, why can't you build it up with all that money? And it's easier to buy it already in place because the technology is already there. You can build buildings, yes, true enough, but the gatekeepers of the technology that you're going to need to broadcast and of the satellite companies, yeah, screw your money the same way they said screw Diddy money. Okay, so it's easier to buy intact. Now, the only way we could change this is we for a long time what we've been doing, we've been pushing our boys to sports and some trades, but not trades for real. More so sports and entertainment. And most of our girls been pushed towards mediocre CNA and housekeeping work. That has to change. It needs to be STEM and genealogy and virology. Instead of touching the surface, you need to dive into the water.
That part.
That's it.
That part right there. Okay. And then on top of that is that
we can't hear you, Shabaka.
Okay, all right. Is that okay? Is that we've been conditioned, you know, from society, and I believe that Muhammad Ali had said this right here, is that we want to go off into sports and things of that nature right there. But Ali said, go get educated first. You see what I mean? Then go off into sports. It's because how many black athletes that got scholarships, you know, like LSU, various other universities, and then they get hurt, you know, where they can no longer play football and or basketball. Then what happens is that they have to pay all that money back that they got from the scholarship right there, you see? So if we created our own industries of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, okay, we can be a very formidable force economically in about 20 years. Now, Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso. I've been trying to mention this subject about for the last 2 weeks now. I was on other platforms and they wouldn't let me finish with Traore. Now, Traore has stated that he's keeping all the gold, number one. France can't get their hands on it. Do you see what I mean? And then that also means probably parts of Europe as well, too. Say, without Africa's gold, the whole world's economy will crumble. This is why they put so much division on it. And then as and you and I discussed off the air too, Brother Joe, about how when African peoples come here to the United States, they are issued these orders by the State Department that states that they are not to have any contact with us here in the United States. Why is that? And I'm going to go to the Queen Mother, and then I'm going to go to Brother Joe. Okay, Queen Mother, so as you were saying, ma'am, okay, what is the reason for that?
Well, I grew up in New Bern, North Carolina, and you know my grandfather. He was my father was a Panther. My grandfather was a Panther, but he was also a civil rights leader, which he was always go out. He would be. He always go out and fight for the people in every way that he know how. You know, he always gather a lot of people, go out in different communities and go out and fight for the people. He had his own business. I forgot what business he used to do. I think he had a store. But he had his own business, so he used to always do things to support our people. But the way I grew up was the white people was more racist. And I'm gonna tell you, they were more racist then than they are now. Because I had cousins and things that used to go out in the potato field and the back of field and all that and work. And there was a place called Lowland. Lowland was a place where black people can go and work there, but they had to leave before 6 o'clock. Okay, my cousin and his people went there to work. They got on the bridge. It was exactly at 6 o'clock. They opened that drawbridge up and they went in the water. They never found their bodies, but it was like 6 or 7 people in the car that died that day from white people opening up the bridge because they didn't make it out before 6 o'clock. That's why I say it was more racist then than it is now. Black power.
Black power, but the racism is still going on. Just as far as them opening up Alcatraz. And then what's going on in Louisiana. When they're talking about opening up a prison in Louisiana in Gatortown, right? So in actuality, maybe with all of this stuff, yeah, give you a little freedom because just guess what? Us as melanated people, we turned around and we gave them back the money that we earned. And we have contributed to their corporations. We have contributed to their grocery stores. We have contributed to their educational system. We have contributed to their car industry. We have contributed to everything. Name it across the board. Our money is circulating with them and not inside of what's going on as far as us in the community, what we have to do for brothers and sisters. And again, it goes back to the question, why or whatever, because the gatekeepers of technology, that goes back to laziness. When have we ever, as a people, been lazy to the point that we can't figure it out on our own? We have done it time in and time again. And told them jokers, look, stay away. Don't even come over here. You know, we're going to make an example out of you, and had to constantly fight over and over again because here they come over on our turf. And then on top of that, stealing our information, our ideas to take it wherever they go, dealing with the capitalism society that we live in.
Okay. All right, that there makes a whole lot of sense right there, sister. And this is why, they dummy us down, in this miseducational system. Okay, they don't teach our children in these public indoctrination centers about opening up their own businesses. Now, Donald Duck, he had went up there and said that he wants to kill diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? Okay. So let him. Okay, is because, as I said, is that that there just goes to show us what we need to do for ourselves. Is because a lot of the black businesses, I believe Essence Magazine was one of them, definitely Motown Records and JPC or Johnson Publications. Okay, they would allow, as Sister Arquette says, these troglodytes to come in there. You see what I mean? And then, as Dr. John Henry Clark said, their purpose there is not to help the organization or the business, but to take it over. Now, John H. Johnson and Eunice Johnson, they both had passed on, and they left it to their only child, Linda Johnson Rice. She turns around and sells it to Time Magazine. That was dumb bunny stuff. You know what I'm saying? That was dumb bunny stuff. Because, as you know, Queen Mother, and as you know, Queen Mother, Ebony and the Jet, they documented, the civil rights movement as it unfolded. They also documented the Black empowerment movement as it unfolded. And Lord knows, Ebony was always keeping it up there about the situation with Muhammad Ali between 1967 till 1970, when he finally got his boxing license back. Okay. And then, quite naturally, of course, he went on and made history in heavyweight championship boxing that we already know. You see what I mean? So may that brother rest in power, you know what I'm saying, for the sacrifice the sacrifices that he made. Excuse me, folks, for stumbling over my words, okay, because I'm doing a lot of this here from memory. Okay, so I see we have some others here into the chat room right here, not the chat room right here, but we got, okay.
It's me, Shabaka.
Okay, yeah.
It's me, Shabaka.
Okay, all right, okay. I hear you. I'm very, very interested in what you have to say. Okay. I went on your YouTube last night, okay?
Yes.
And your boy Crew, is coming with insults and stuff like that. Okay.
Wait, Shabaka, wait, hold up.
Somebody here says, "I'm here, Black Joe. Can you tell them?"
It's me, Anaya. It's me, Anaya. It's me, Anaya.
Okay, that's you. Okay.
I just needed to talk to. I just wanted to first, grand evening, everybody. How are you? Peace and love. I came here to say hi to Shabaka. Really, I really got to talk to Shabaka. Shabaka. Last night when you came over, whatever's going on in the chat, 90% of the time they're goofing off in there, right? But whatever's going on, it's a family issue that me, you, and Jesse got to discuss. You dig? And you always say, Shabaka, remember when you used to do Block Talk, that if you got something to say, come up on the platform and say it, right? So yesterday, you typed it, but we're both from the same place. And so if I read something a certain way, I'm reading it quietly to myself, right? And it reads kind of menacing, kind of threatening, like it's like a threat. Nobody wants to go like
nobody.
No, I know, Shabaka, but that's how it reads, right? So I'm like this, okay? This is how I feel. I have to tell you, because if I don't say it now, you'll never know.
That there, Black Joe. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Me, Lady J.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna say is this: is that we came a long way from Blog Talk to over here to YouTube. You know, Jesse put Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced before everything, before us, before his mayoral campaign, before everything. The show must go on. We cannot leave. Shabaka's show must go on. That's what he said. That's what he always has been. And when things were going sour on Blog Talk and things were going sour on YouTube and we weren't getting a lot of views or numbers or whatever, we stuck it out. We stuck together because we're a family. It was us three. You know what I mean? Everybody else is like whatever, but it's us three, right? It's Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. It's Frontline Black News, and it's the Revolutionary Agenda, right? Well, that's it, right? We're supposed to carry on your legacy, right? So this is what's a trip to me, okay? I understand how you feel and what you want us to refer to you as and how you refer to yourself. Great, perfect. Leave it at that, right? But my thing is this: is that for 5 fucking years, every Saturday
we can't have
we
that
do.
cussing, man. We
I
cannot have
apologize.
that
I
cussing,
apologize. I apologize.
ma'am.
I
We
apologize.
cannot have that cussing,
I
okay?
apologize.
Because we're not
I won't
gonna
cuss.
get shut down,
I
okay?
understand. I understand. I won't cuss no more. I apologize. I apologize. I try to keep myself together. Um, what I'm saying is every Saturday at 10 o'clock, the first thing we talk about is tangibles. And intangibles, okay? Intangibles, it says the fundamental things. It says foundational Black Americans will no longer accept, right?
Diasporic
Wait, wait,
Africans,
wait.
ma'am.
Wait,
Diasporic
Shabaka.
African, ma'am.
Shabaka, wait. Just hear me out. Just give me 2 more minutes. And I promise I'll stop, okay? On tangibles, everything that Jesse reads every Saturday, it says, because it comes from a site called First Them, right? It says foundational Black Americans will no longer accept these terms, broad and ambiguous language, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? And we give
Okay.
credence to Tariq Nasheed since 2021?
Ma'am, don't mention that
Wait,
man's name on this
wait.
platform.
I understand.
Do
I
not
understand,
mention
Chewbacca.
his name
I
on this
apologize. I
platform.
apologize.
I'm not promoting that cat,
Okay,
okay?
no, we're not. Oh, I understand, Chewbacca. I understand. You're making
See,
my heart
this
hurt.
is the new
I
rules that's
understand.
coming in.
Okay, I understand, Chewbacca. Okay, so every Saturday we give credence to the person that created that thing that we say every Saturday on Frontline Black News, which is tangible. We read it every Saturday, right? At 10 o'clock, like no fail, okay? And so it baffles me and it hurts my soul, right? That we're gonna do this right now like it's a brand new thing. Like we toss this whole ideology or lineage thought process on you like brand new, like it's a brand new thing. When it for 5 years, Shabaka, you've been a part of the Frontline Black News. And that's what we do every Saturday. So it hurts my feelings because like he put you and your show and everything before even us. Our things went to the wayside. Everything was disgruntled for like 2 years, just so we could make sure that when you were going through whatever you needed to go through, you had somebody to hold you down. It might not have been good financially, but it was good because we were there. You see what I'm saying? When nobody's there, when Jess's not there, or you're not there, who can hold you down? Me.
Okay.
You hold me.
So can
So I'm
we
telling you
go
that.
back to
Hold on, Anaya. Please, I'm almost done.
can we go
I
back
just want to say
to
this. I
Shabbat
just want to say this.
about
I understand, Anaya, but let me finish my sentence. I just want to say this, Shabaka. We love you, and we're not trying to fight with you. It's really ugly when we have to fight and be like this. You know what I mean? It feels kind of chastising, but it's wrong all the way around. You think? I just want to say that. Okay? I just want to say that.
Okay.
I'm done.
All righty. Okay. All righty. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Now, I have to address this issue. There's a certain individual on your platform. I'm not going to say his name, right? And this clown made the statement that Shabaka does not like African coffee. the fact of the matter is that I
He's
do.
making a joke, Chewbacca. You drink coffee at night.
Can we not focus on?
He's just making a joke. Don't you drink coffee at night?
Focus on. Remember, we're talking about what's going on as far as Malcolm Jamal Warner. We was talking about that.
Right.
We was also talking about what's happening as far as Martin Luther King and then releasing the files. Can we stay focused on that instead of getting into all that? Yeah, because that's not for this show right here.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, you're right. You know what I'm saying? Okay, now I'm gonna unmute Brother Paris's mic. Okay, all right. Well, he's on self-mute. Okay, he can unmute and come on in. Okay, now there's a certain individual that you all had, on your show. Okay, all right, you unmuted, Brother Che. Okay, what's on your mind, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, but you're way in the background.
Hey, what's going on, Chewbacca? I slept through all of this, whatever went down. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. But you got some background noise.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me. Okay. All right, is the background noise gone? All right, I don't know
sir,
what
it is.
all I know is what Lady Che told me, and I apologize if you feel like you were disrespected or whatever by a guest or a person in the comments. But our question is, Chewbacca, what happened to your sense of humor? You don't even laugh no more. Like every time you would laugh.
Here we go
now
back
you're just
to
so
what we were
supposed
supposed
to
to be talking
blow
about.
a gasket.
Okay, all right, okay. Now, Sister Cat is saying that we need to stay on topic. What she's right about. Okay, I'm gonna address that now.
Stay on topic.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Okay, but I got one thing, to say. Okay, and then I'm gonna mute myself out. Okay, now, over the years, and I want to ask this question here. Over the years, Brother Che, I noticed a change in you. Okay, not you personally, because I know you've been going through it.
Going off topic again.
Hold on, Anaya, this is important to us.
No, but wait a minute. It's not your show right now. You're taking the show.
Anaya, you're not engaging with the rules.
Okay, whoa. Hold it. I'm going to mute everybody out now. Okay, but Anaya is correct. We need to stay on topic. Plus, we have elders in the building with us. Okay, and then of course, we got a Black Lion with us as well too. As I had stated, okay, over the years, if we disagree, let us disagree agreeably. Now, that business that went on there the other night, okay, that was unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. Now, if y'all want to identify as yourself as FBA, I don't have a problem with it. But don't call me that. Okay, I'm a diasporic.
We didn't call you that, Chewbacca.
Okay.
We didn't call you that. Lady Che was just
okay.
And
okay. All right, now hold on. Okay, hold on.
So all I know is what she told me. I slept through all that. So
I'll just ask a question.
Okay, and Black Joe, I see your comment there in the section, brother, and I'm gonna bring you back on there with that. Okay. Yeah, you're right about that, Black Joe, and that's why I'm being very, very cool. Exactly. It's called pushing your buttons, okay? And I'm not going for it tonight. Now, first place, everybody here is grown, okay? Because, as adults, you know what your viewpoints are, you know the squares that you stand on. Now, I might not agree with your squares that you stand on, but I do respect you for standing on your square. Okay, now we're going to turn it over to Brother Paris and let him speak for a minute. Okay, and I'm going on self-mute. Okay.
All right, sounds good. All right, so RRP to Malcolm Jamal Warner, Theo, You will be missed. You lost your life tragically as a result of getting swept into the sea. Rip current must have grabbed you and drowned you. They tried to revive you. It didn't work. So you end up losing your life. So I'm on topic. Now, there's some kind of confusion here that I have to address. FBA is not an ideology. FBA is a lineage.
Wait, just before you say all that,
Pan-Africanism
Okay,
is a
so
ideology.
Jesse, I think that we shouldn't probably talk about that because Shabak is gonna get upset. You go too much in FBA, but let's keep on topic dealing with Malcolm Jamal Warner and also what they're doing as far as Martin Luther King releases stuff. But please, can we not go into FBA stuff?
Okay, that's fine. But let's do this. Let's do this. Can we
Shabaka said
acknowledge
he was going to give me the floor. I just have to get that out.
But you already know he doesn't want to talk about
animals leaving Yellowstone also.
Okay.
Hey, Black Lightning.
Hey, what up?
Mike's in the building.
Yeah, and the animals leaving Yellowstone too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, yeah. Newsflash, people. Yeah, thank you, Lightning. I almost forgot. Okay, according to Lightning, is that they had a 7.2 earthquake there near Yellowstone Park.
4.5, a 4.5. I guess they're looking for a 7.9.
They had a 7.4 in Alaska yesterday.
Okay, yeah, they did. 7.4 that day is a major earthquake. Also, too, I've slept through many 4.5s, but when it gets above 6.5, it's gonna wake you up. I've dove under many of coffee tables, gotten many doorways over the course of my lifetime.
I read the 7 point something, but I was still researching on it. So you saw more on that, Jesse?
Yes. I saw the earthquake that happened on the other side of the world.
On my phone, Dynamite.
Last year, I think it happened in Jerusalem.
It was a 7.4 that hit Alaska yesterday.
There was a earthquake that hit last year.
It was either yesterday or the day before yesterday, but they issued a tsunami warning for it.
Right, there was an earthquake. Where is it, Jesse? They hit in the Middle East, or what they call the East.
Oh, you're talking about Iran? Yeah,
in Iran last year, right? And I felt it over here in Colorado at my house. I felt the tremors, or the vibration from the earthquake. I don't know if that's because I'm special or not, but I just felt it. You know what I mean? All the way across the world. You know what I mean? So when this happened over there in what is it talking about, Yellowstone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could feel that the ship.
Well, if Yellowstone goes off, all bets for humanity is off.
You can tell by the way.
United States will be done.
So what do y'all
check it out, y'all? Other than a natural disaster of Yellowstone, since Khrushchev, the Soviet Union, you know that part of the strategic nuclear strike plan was to hit Yellowstone with a strategic nuke and set it off. You got to understand, the enemies of America are willing to commit suicide to to run it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sir, you're absolutely right.
You're correct.
That's real. And then keep in mind too is that the Old Faithful guys are there in Yellowstone is a phenomenon that they can't explain. Okay, just like when they had all these.
No, it's explainable. Fires. It's explainable. Yeah. The volcano caldera is like right there. The geyser is geothermal heat because of the volcano. That's all it is.
Okay. Yes, sir. You're right about that. Okay. Now, another thing too is that when you.
Oh, I got a suggestion for Black Joe. Can you put your contact information in the chat, Black Joe?
Yeah, it's for me,
in the
Black
private
Joe.
chat.
So I can add you. That way I can invite you to the RVA. So we have these kind of conversations on the RVA about the weather and the all these interesting little conversations we've been having. I want to have them over there on my show, where it's like super intense.
Which information?
Just like your email address or your Facebook account.
Yeah. So
all right.
It'll come under production doll or Brandy Loaf or something like that.
Well, did you think that even with that, you should turn around and say, Shabaka, is it okay if, I'm on your show? Is it okay? No, I'm just saying, what you just say, is it okay if I share like information to my Twitter account?
Regulating me. I have
not regulate anybody. I'm just saying, like, I'm not feel if he did that to your show though. How would you feel if he did that? But anyway, so Shabaka. So the thing is, as far as like I was telling you about paperwork, he had information saying that Malcolm Jamal Warner was actually alive when they did rescue him out there. And I would kind of like to share like some of the evidence, if we could, on what paperwork was saying about Malcolm Jamal Warner. Because he did an investigation with about Malcolm Jamal Warner, but he also did investigation. It came up with some real good stuff when it came up to Whitney Houston. Angie Stone. Isn't that right, Queen Mother? Didn't paperwork also get some information when it came to Angie Stone?
Yeah, Black Power paperwork went all the way to where Angie Stone, where they so-called said was a car accident. He stayed in the motel room she stayed in. He got all the information. He went and got pictures and videos of the truck and the Sprint van. He got all the evidence. Yes, he did. And all his evidence is real.
Yeah, and he said that he does a lot of research. I was just saying, I don't know how to do it on here, Shabaka, but maybe because you're talking about Malcolm Jamal Warner, you might want to just pull up or from YouTube what he was actually, or maybe Black Lightning can pull up and tell you what paperwork came up with about what really happened over there, and we can just see what he was talking about, and it's really not that long.
Okay.
What he was saying.
Okay. Now, okay, and as you know, Sister Arquette, okay, with you being off the East Coast, okay, I don't know nothing about the Atlantic Ocean. I've never seen it, although I was 10 miles away from it at one time. But I do know that in the Pacific, okay, is that those riptides are severe. Now, what a riptide is this. You got the tide that comes in, right? That's where the wave crashes, okay? But as a wave is coming in, you might have an alternate current that's going in the opposite direction. So this in turn will pull you under the water. You see, now, I've went to Lake Michigan. I've swam in Lake Michigan, and you can walk out there about 1 mile with the water still up to your waist, but that's a Great Lake. It's not an ocean, okay? It's because, like, when they built the Golden Gate Bridge, right? Okay, the reason why they were able to do it is because Frisco Bay is only 90 feet deep at its deepest point. But once you get out there past the Golden Gate Bridge, I think it's like about 200 yards, then the continental shelf falls off. Okay, then you out there in the water, and then you got all kind of critters out there for you, sharks, barracudas. You know what I'm saying? You got some very, very formidable natural enemies out there that love to eat. Okay, so with him being in Costa Rica, I believe he was on the Pacific side because the Pacific Ocean is the world's largest ocean. Okay. And then also too, Lady Che, I'm gonna say this here to you that I try to do on your show, okay? And I think I might
you on something real quick. He wasn't on the Pacific side; he was on the Caribbean side.
Yeah.
Okay, on the Caribbean side. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, now also too, Lady Che, I have to tell you this. Okay. When I put up there Mama Africa, okay, of Sister Miriam Makeba, you had disrespected that to the utmost, and she was telling you the facts. Is that the white man only believes that he don't that history started when he discovered us, which is ridiculous. You see what I'm saying?
Well, this is the thing right here.
Makeba.
Come on, Shabaka. We're not gonna disrespect other brothers and sisters on there either. We're not gonna do that either, Shabaka. Come on, man.
If that's
no, ain't nobody gonna disrespect Mama Africa. Hold on a second. Hold on.
That's what happened.
Okay, Queen Mother. Mother.
Shabaka, we've been doing your show for
Black Power.
Okay, hold on. The Queen Mother is speaking. Okay, the Queen Mother is speaking. Okay. All right, Queen Mother. I know that you're very familiar with Miriam Makeba. Do you recall her, and what can you relate about Sister Miriam Makeba?
Miriam Makeba, wasn't she a revolutionary?
Yes, ma'am. She was married to Hugh Masekela, and she was also married to Kwame Ture.
Yeah.
And then you do know that they exiled her from South Africa in the 60s. And then when she returned to South Africa, they wouldn't let her leave the nation no more.
Yeah, I know about that.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Right.
And then on
the Queen Mother has an echo. She's watching the video on the
Okay, Queen Mother, you have an echo, ma'am?
You have echo.
I don't have nothing on but the show, everything.
Yeah, so Shabaka, the echo is coming from you. You have
it's
two.
Not me. I only have one thing on.
Okay, I muted my mic. I muted my mic to kill the echo.
No, that's
okay. I'm on mute too, so it won't be no echo. Black Power.
Okay, Black go ahead, Lady Chair.
I would just say this. I and Bianca were on, and we were both talking at the same time. It was back and forth, a little bit of contention here and there, back and forth. It was equally disrespectful if you want to be like that on both ends. I apologize for my behavior. It won't happen again.
And
damn, salute.
Okay, Lady Chair.
You know what I'm saying? Anytime, because, even when you go through life, right? There is your truth, their truth, and the real truth. And even when you turn around and you be amongst people, we can all even be in this Zoom link, and I'm telling you, everybody else, if you ask the question, is really going to come up with another scenario based on what they heard or what actually they listened to or what actually, triggered in their mind at the time of something they was grabbing as a reflection or whatever. So it always comes like that. And I think that, it's commendable as far as someone apologizing, but in actuality, I think everybody needs to apologize to everybody. Because this is the thing right here. No one starts an argument without an argument. You have to have two to tango, let alone here comes the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one, the sixth one. And look, we got on here. There's 6 right here. You see what I'm saying? And here comes the tango. Now we're doing the dance all amongst ourselves. And I think that, we all need to apologize. Not only does whatever, I don't even know what happened last night. I really don't even care. Because a lot of the arguments that I hear brothers and sisters have are strictly, to me, just dumb. Just stupid. Just idiotic. Just really nothing. Nothing imperative. Nothing is going to help our nation. Nothing is going to help children from being slept outside, freezing to death. Nothing like that. Nothing about us having our own economic power. Nothing wherever you're arguing about. What are you arguing about? When you have brothers and sisters that are literally disintegrating on the earth day in and day out. And you're arguing about what? Oh, somebody said somebody is a what? Oh, somebody said they are over here doing what? Oh, somebody has the flag over here or whatever. If you understand anything about history, we already are, so we everywhere. All of that is a part of us. Everything. If you do not believe that the world was created in darkness, something is wrong with you again. They even tell you that in that Bible. They tell you that in the Quran. You cannot have light without having dark. So what are you arguing about? You already knew that melanin began already from the get-go. So what are you arguing about? What are you talking about? What are people have been created from? Or whatever. You already know this. So it doesn't matter. People have been tribal all their lives. But it's time for all that tribal behavior to end. Because at the end of the day, we all we got. It doesn't even matter what tribe you from. The thing that you need to be focused on is how you're going to get your goddamn freedom and keep it before you end up on that concentration camp.
Sister Arquette, you're right. You are absolutely correct. You know what I'm saying? You are absolutely correct. It's because, as I stated before, I will state it again, okay? They only look at this is one way, okay? And then Black Joe, he's up there in the comments and what have you, because we is all we got, as I stated before, and I will state it again, okay? If you take a so-called Black American, you take a Black Jamaican, you take a Black Haitian, you take a Black Dominican Republic, Black Dominican, a Black Brazilian, and you have all 4 or 5 of these men walk down the streets of Los Angeles, and then when crash rolls up on you, you know, to gracefully glide that nightstick up beside your head, when they report their location, we got 5 mil Negroes right here. So they're not going to sit up there, well, man, are you from Jamaica? Well, man, are you from Burkina Faso? No, they're not. You say, and then also, too, okay, 1 second, Black Joe, then I'm going to yield to. Then also,
Yes,
too, I want to discuss, you know, and get everybody's feedback on Brother Ibrahim Traore. I yield for now. I'm muting my mic. Okay, Brother Joe.
Now you're 100% correct on that. If swine pull us over, we are Negro. Now my only issue, and this is the issue I've had. I'm 42. This is the issue I've had the last 20 years. When they win, it's their wins. When we win, it's their wins. When they lose, it's our losses. When we lose, it's our losses. That's my problem.
Okay. All righty. Okay. Yeah.
That's my my and the priority.
Right. You're absolutely right, and
yeah, that sounds reason.
Because of the thievery that they have done on our communities.
And the Traore thing. It's something like it's so much information out here that they're like Brother Shabbat. You're 100% right. The riders that were riding with us back then, when I had to use this term back then. You my elder son, they were riders. These guys nowadays aren't riders. They are colonialized. They still kissing white Jesus statues' feet, bruh. Okay. Like to see that young men dressed up like our urban and dressed up like our urban our urban young men dress up and emulate our urban young men, but to get over here and spew hatred. That is interesting to me.
And Shabaka, one of the things I also want to tell you, and that's the truth. If you look at it, it's not the same anymore. Don't forget, they turned around and they got rid of the elders. They got rid of a lot of things, even when it comes to the motherland. And then on top of it, we still don't address the name as what it's really supposed to be called. Even with the name, it went through colonialism and neocolonialism. And then when you take a child, just like you have a puppy or whatever, you have to train it or whatever. And it's the same thing as what they're doing with children. And they turn around. And why do you see the population as through it becomes less and less of the adult people and it comes to children. That's a way. That's a whole nother thing. But I'm not saying nothing against anything. I'm just saying these are what the facts are. These are the numbers. These are what the facts are. Because
may I address Traore?
Yes, sir. Please do.
Traore, he a rider, and I'd ride for him if it was possible. I had everybody behind him that I know if it was possible. The stack deck against Traore is the Chinese, the Russians, the Americans, and the Africans around him that are anti-Pan-Africanist. That's all.
Yeah, he's aware of that. No, that's a fact. He's aware of that. And then on top of that, there as well too, was that there was a film clip. Well, I think Ibrahim, had did an interview, I think with Michelle Obama, or Michelle Obama was involved in it. And so she's trying to go over there, with that red, white, and blue BS. And then Ibrahim Traore has stated the reason why he's standing on the square that he's in. One is because of Thomas Sankara. Two is he watched his little brother die. Why he stays in uniform is that he had state is that this is what I was wearing, when we had liberated Burkina Faso. You see what I'm saying? The man is very educated, okay? And then, and you and I, Brother Che, we did a story on that because I sent you the clip on it and you reminded me it was 3 months old, which you was right about, as where old Langley gets up there. Yeah, old Langley. And Traore said the thing is that hurted him the most about Langley is that he was a black man. Now, if it was one of these troglodytes, the sister says, okay, that went over there with that there would be the norm. But Jailbird, Jailbird says, okay, nigga, let me go over here and pat you upside your head. You the boss.
Well, let me ask you a question, Shabaka. Let me ask you a question. We have that same power and same ingenuity all together right here in the Americas. But we don't turn around and look at that, right? We don't turn around and look for the brothers and sisters that's right here, because we have a list, a long list right here in the Americas that we have been constantly battling over and over and over again, even through every epidemic they have given us. Every epidemic. And I'm not just talking about just different revolutionary organizations. I'm talking about even when it came back to the black church as they got away from that. I'm not talking about the American church that sit around there, they want to be a part of the Vatican. I'm talking about the churches when it came to brothers and sisters, because they didn't want you to have that communion with each other. They didn't want you to be able to speak to each other or have whatever. So we have had that here. One of the things that they constantly do because of the colonialism and the neo-colonialism that goes on alone here in the Americas, and you constantly want to be a part of everything's technology, then you watch the TV shows, you turn around, and our children is in these school systems, right? What happened when it was a point that we decided that we didn't want our children in them school systems? Where did we, that's where we met. Anytime that we as a people have turned around and made these, good God, I was getting ready to say a word. Troglodytes. Look, I'm gonna keep it clean. I got plenty of words for no oppressor.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
And anytime we turned around and we made them a part of our life or a part of our families, that's when we have had destruction. And that's the only time we had it. And we knew when we saw them, we said, no, get them duggars back over there. We should have killed them right then. We should have killed them.
Okay. All right.
Belongingness refers
Okay,
to human.
now I'm going to
All
read
right.
Joe's
Black Joe, Black Joe, give us some science, some history.
No, he already did here in the chat room, and I'm going to read Joe's thing right here. In psychology, belongingness refers to the human need to form and maintain social connections and feel accepted and included in a group. This fundamental human motivation drives individuals to seek out and maintain interpersonal relationships, contributing to overall well being and mental health. Deficits in belongings can lead to negative consequences, while a strong sense of belonging fosters positive outcomes. Now, Joe, I have to say this. There's this guy by the name of Sigmund Freud, who they say is the leading expert in psychology and what have you, right? And he was talking about sexual relationships between men and women and what have you, that I found interesting, when I took Psych 101. But I just find it very interesting of how a man who is addicted to drugs, like cocaine, in which he was also a practicing homosexual, which is his business. But with him, on this substance and then of that particular lifestyle, how is he going to be an expert into natural unions between men and women? And I'm not talking about the natural union of what they were talking about, where I got into an argument with my sociology professor of the slave traders buying young black girls, for their sons, to violate the black woman on a plantation system. Because I'm not talking about that. So please elaborate.
Okay, I know you're not talking about that.
You have to.
I'm just talking about all together. Listen to what we're talking about. Do you guys hear and listening to the insanity that we are actually a part of? This is insanity.
You have to remember, a broken clock is right twice a day. Okay, sometimes you gotta separate the man life from what he put out there. All right. Now, when I put that belongingness in the chat, that has something to do going all the way back to the 1920s when Negroes wanted to go into certain clubs and wanted to do certain things and be certain socialites. Then we get to the 40s, 50s, and 60s where Negroes were looking for roots and where they belong, and they wanted to be with Africans and they wanted to do this. And then you get through see the belongingness pattern that has cost us all these years.
Okay.
Us trying to belong to these different groups and assimilate into these certain groups is why our community is in the disarray it's in right now. It's not to blame man, it's not to blame woman, it's to blame us all as a whole. Shoot, I hate to say it, this goes beyond your grandparents, Shabaka. Okay, this started way back when. This is a generational curse. And this is why I hate to say it like this. There has to be a conflict within our community to change this, because there are too many people with power that are willing to do harm to keep that power in our community that's keeping the rest of the community down.
Right. That's called compromise. Right.
Like what Black Joe was talking about, this loneliness, this longing, not only does it have something to do with being with an organization, it has to do with what they did to our families. See, people don't really get a grasp of what they really did as far as this colonialism, neocolonialism, and all this agreement that we have done with these evil people. They have really broken down our families. Our families don't even feel love anymore. Where's the love at? And I'm not just talking about just any kind of love, even the unconditional love, because even when you have these discussions or you have these arguments, you're triggering something else that has to be triggered here and there, blah, blah, blah. And do you still not understand what I'm talking about? How we have to have a healing? We have people out here don't even know, you know what I'm saying, because of all the detriment that has occurred to them as far as, or her, in this society that we're living in that they don't even know who they want to lay down with. They don't know if they want to. And I'm not promoting none of this stuff altogether. I'm just saying that we have to come into agreement as brothers and sisters to actually have a site or something that we can do in order for us to sit down. Whether we, and the main thing is for us to meet in person and be, and that would be the delight. If we can actually meet each other in person, hold hands or whatever. And I ain't talking about no goddamn Tyler Perry and no Ruthless or any of that
Come
stuff.
on now with the language now. We got the Queen Mother present, sister. All right,
I'm just saying we have to have that. We have to have a healing because we don't have time for everybody to keep fighting about something that is irrelevant of what the hell is really getting ready to happen to us in a short period of time. Don't forget, the universe is moving faster than before.
Okay, now, okay, hold on, Sister Arquette. Okay, Black Joe wrote something here that he's right about. Okay, Stockholm Syndrome is a psychological coping mechanism that can develop in the victims of captivity or abuse, causing them to identify with and develop positive feelings towards their captors. It's not a formal diagnosis, but rather a psychological concept used to explain certain reactions. Now, on that there, Joe, you right about, like, when you go into the county jail, okay, what do they got? Trustees, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, so that there explains that right there.
But what about what's going on right now? They've been doing that forever. That's why they have the school to pipeline or whatever they doing. They was doing that whatever a long time ago.
Sister, we are in a state. We are all in a state of Stockholm syndrome because we are still allowing our oppressor to oppress us. We are in an open air prison.
Right. That part. And then to prove your point even further. Now, like how the dumpster man has got alligator Alcatraz, and then I want to get Brother Che's response on that because him and I have discussed this here before. Okay. And I'm on mute his mic. Okay. All right, Brother Che.
I just want to say this right quick before you put Che on. That joker needs to go to the ground. Blown up.
Who is that?
I'm talking about Alcatraz. If they turn around and they pull some stunt about open that up, you already know what has to happen to it. We cannot allow them to open up Alcatraz because that's not the only prison that is being opened up. They getting ready to start concentration camps, and that ain't got, and it's going to go deeper than just dealing with immigrants.
Okay, the concentration camps. Okay. Now, Brother Che and I have discussed this here about a year and a half ago. And Brother Che, if you're there, please comment, unmute your mic. Okay. The concentration camp that they got ready for us here, people, is a place called Death Valley, California. It's 95 degrees here in Las Vegas right now. Do you know what the temperature is in Death Valley? 120, 125. 130. They're gonna put us all out there.
Do you want me to debate you on that?
Right there. Okay, hold on, sister. Please let me finish. They're gonna put us all up in there and turn the daggone water off. It will be a slow and miserable death. And turn the water off. And I yield. Go ahead, sister.
Okay, you have actually.
Okay, so let's go. Go ahead, Brother Chase, and I go after you.
Okay. You had asked me something about alligator Alcatraz, Shabaka. What was the question that you had asked me about alligator Alcatraz?
Okay. No, I was talking about Death Valley, but the question of alligator Alcatraz is that Donald Duck has set the example by being the first inmate booked there. He could also set the example about being the first inmate booked at the regular Alcatraz. You see what I'm saying? Because the man is a 34-count convicted felon.
Well, it's my understanding that Newsom is holding that over his head. He said he's not going to open Alcatraz up until he
Okay.
releases scene files.
Okay. All right. Now, Gruesome Newsom, he has issues himself too. But keep in mind, Alcatraz Island is a federal.
Wait a minute. I apologize. Wait a minute. I want to hear what Brother Tay, read that article to me again. What did Newsom say? I apologize. I didn't see that on the news. Tell me what Newsom said now.
Gruesome Newsom said that he's not going to open He's not going to open Alcatraz, rather. He's not going to open Alcatraz until the dump releases the Epstein list.
Oh, Lord, Epstein.
Now, that's interesting.
That is very interesting.
That is very,
Hey,
very
look, Newsom
interesting.
came out with a card, did he? Look, that motherfucker, they playing
No
poker
cussing,
right
sister.
now.
No
Hey,
cussing. We got elders present.
Look for a stroke.
Oh,
Check the chat.
blood clot, brother, blood.
Okay, all right. Something happened right there. Okay, so something
Uh-huh.
happened. Yeah, with Sister's mic. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute.
Who, me?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look,
I
you
guess,
talking about Trump having a stroke. I say this blood clot. Do you see how swollen his legs were?
yeah, I saw that. And I
One
tell you
clot to the brain is a stroke.
yes, sir. And then on top of that, man, you see them nice $350 shoes he had on. Boy, I'd sure like to give me a pair of that and put a bossy gloss on that there, man, with the tip. And if everybody ever been off in the barber shop and sat at the shoe sign parlor, boy, them dudes there, man, were geniuses, man, when it came to having your kicks look right. There were some sharp kicks. There were some sharp suits. But Donald Trump deserves to go right straight to frigging jail. And then, if this office of president of the United States is supposed to be of so much of high integrity and what have you, this is unprecedented. A convicted felon being the president of the United States. You know what I mean? Not one, not two, not three counts, but 34 convictions.
I'm just glad them troglodytes is fighting themselves. I know they're like, wait
that's
a
great
minute,
news.
See, hey, this is one thing. This is one thing I need y'all to take into consideration if Trump dies. Okay.
All right,
His
yeah.
our vice president is ex-Marine. All right. So all of this big chest beating and talking that America been doing to these other countries for the last 20, 30 years with a gung-ho Marine in office if Trump dies. I hope y'all got body armor and NBC masks and stuff like that ready.
Oh, please, I bet you that motherfucker got goddamn
sister,
skeleton in his
come on, sister, watch the language. Come on.
What I'm saying is Trump's vice president would be the one to push a button versus.
But I bet he got skeletons in his closet too. They say birds.
It's not about the skeletons in his closet, sister. It's not about the skeletons. It is not about the skeletons in the vice president's closet. It's about the violence of action he will use when he feel like this country has been accosted.
Precisely. You see what I'm saying?
Look at the action that Trump is trying to use right now.
What Trump is doing is nothing compared to what a president, a Marine as president will do. A joyhead.
Oh, please, because it's Army. Come on, Shabaka, are you going to allow him to disrespect the Army? Well, anyway, that's another subject.
Marines eat crayons and kill stuff. Marines first in, last out. Like I'm nothing against the Army, but I would rather have an Army person run or a Navy person as president than a dang on Marine. All right.
Exactly. And to prove your point even further there, brother, is this here. Okay. The Army, the Corps says that the Army they aren't ready for Marines yet. Okay. All righty. The USMC, I call it Uncle Sam's misguided clowns, is what I call it.
Jarheads all day, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Because they still are not thinking already altogether. And they turn around and they probably got him shook. He's probably sitting back there going crazy right now. Oh my God, oh my God. I can see it right now. I think the ancestors.
Have you seen the video of our vice president fired? Have you seen the video of our vice president firing an M92 saw at the range with the army? He was just at the range shooting a freaking fully automatic machine gun, practicing in full body armor.
All right. Okay.
I didn't know that. That's news to me.
He's sitting over there. You know what I'm saying? And he's still like, what am I gonna do here? What am I gonna do that? You know what I mean? And it has nothing to do with what really needs to be done. On top of that, right? They knew exactly what they were doing, but that has nothing to do with what needs to be done right now, as far as everything, right? And that's why they turn around here trying to pull they steadily pulling stuff out the bag. Here go the bag, here go the bag, here go the bag, here go the bag. So what they already telling you, regardless of whether they showing you or not, say, hey, what's up? You ready to fight? What we gonna do?
Okay,
right?
Now.
You know what I'm saying? This is the thing right here. We don't allow that to turn around and do what we have to do for our people and everything all together.
Okay.
Because you have to understand that our ancestors is working too. And they are. We have beings inside of. Let me tell you something. It doesn't even matter how a brother or sister do a sight. It really doesn't even matter how a brother and sister come up there and they tell you about how to eat right, or maybe they get a little wrong. Sometimes you got to do your own research. Nothing is absolute but absolute. But you have to go back and say that it's a good thing that brothers and sisters are on X and they're on Facebook and they're on TikTok and they're teaching you about history and they letting you know and everything like that. That is our combative experience right there. The ancestors giving us so much, and they are. Okay. We have to take it upon ourselves in order to do what's necessary to be done, or whatever.
Now let's look at the case of Geronimo Pratt. Okay, and may that brother rest in power. Geronimo Pratt was a Vietnam veteran. Okay, they falsely accused him of a murder in 1968, and thank God to the spirit of Johnny Cochran, may he rest in power, because Mr. Cochran fought Pratt's case all the way from 1968 all the way up till Geronimo was released. And then off of research that I've done, when they came across the information releasing Mr. Pratt, the judge from the bench called up the warden over there across from you, Sister Arquette, is right by the Golden Gate Bridge. San Quentin Prison and says, you get that man on a release line today. We want him out today. Not tomorrow, not day after tomorrow, but today. And if you do not, then I will be issuing a warrant for your arrest, because Mr. Pratt was a victim of false imprisonment, false accusation. You see what I mean? Okay. And the reason why they put so much on him, because see, he had those skills of what Brother Joe was talking about from the Vietnam conflict. And then a jarhead is just like he said, they gung-ho. You see what I mean? They'll push a button just to push it. They believe in almost like them kamikazes of World War II. You see what I mean? How are you going to get up there? Wait a minute. How were you, okay, toward the end of World War II, while Truman went on there and dropped that damn atomic bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but the first place he should have dropped it at should have been Berlin and Munich, because those people were not white. But the Japanese Empire had went there and told their men, okay, you are a samurai, okay, and they knew when they took off on them aircraft carriers, okay, when they did the suicide missions, the kamikazes, they knew they were not coming back. You see what I mean? So then what happened? Okay, when the kamikazes got to them, old Harry S. Truman said that he asked for their surrender. Okay, they refused to surrender. Okay, then they had the Manhattan Project, and then they had dropped it on Hiroshima. Okay, then Truman came up there and told them that we're getting ready to hit you with another one if you don't surrender. Then they dropped it on Nagasaki. Then Truman said, if you don't surrender after this one, the next one we're going to drop on Tokyo. Them dudes are signing peace treaties there aboard the USS Missouri in Tokyo Bay within 48 hours after that. You know, and also, too, so we had someone drop off.
Well, look, this is the thing right here. Look at this thing with Black Joe put in here. Talking about G.D. Vance, the Vice President of the United States, smiles after shooting a MS 240B machine gun during a live fire range at the Weapons Training Battalion on Marine Corps Base, Quantico, Virginia, March 26, 2025. Vance served in the Marine Corps as a combat correspondent, including development to Iraq in support of the Operation Iraqi Freedom. The purpose of the visit was to engage with the Marines, and exactly. So they turn around, they do that. You know what I'm saying? Because some of them was like, Marines are horrible, whatever. You know what I mean? But that has nothing to do, whatever. So he's going to turn around. He's going to try to use everything to his advantage, because guess who he's going to be fighting against? Who does he have? Let me tell you something. Out of everything these jokers have been doing us, and you already know, brothers and sisters is already, they going through their things and everything too. They're talking about, hey, we want change in our neighborhoods as well. We want to have equality. What's going on with us? We want our families to live as well. We're tired of living under your jurisdiction and everything like that. You know what I mean? So, and of course, he may go to him to the point, and you already know, machine or whatever, but it has nothing to do with strategy. That is robot.
Yeah. Another thing, glad you brought up.
Yeah, you're right, Black Joe, and also gas mask and everything else.
Okay, all righty, and then also too, we're going to. Okay, I'm going to re-add Paris back to the stage. Okay, so we're going to start our closing comments right now. Okay, and I'm gonna go first. Okay, and then let Lightning go last, and everybody, please be respectful in your closing comments. Okay, for once, well, not for once, but this is a few times, where everybody's not up here under a lot of stress. People got their points across. I hope that they have. Okay, and what have you. All right. So it's always a pleasure. But like it is, though, we got to protect ourselves, is because this stuff is coming. And they're going to want us to be the first ones to be expendable, just like Uncle Remus with zippity doo dah, zippity day. I got plenty of nothing, and nothing's plenty for me. Uncle Tim Scott, you know what I'm saying? And Larry Elders, Leo Terrells, you know what I mean? Them Negroes, black family, are very, very dangerous to our very existence. And I yield. Okay.
Can I go next?
Yeah.
All right. I just want to say that I'm very proud of you. And one of the things that I can say that I'm proud of you is that you are actually, I'm listening to everything and I hear the change. Also, I'm proud of Queen Mother for being on here. And this is the one thing that I'm very proud of, is that all of you on here as black men, you actually respected the woman Queen Mother respected her, and you didn't start your mess. I'm gonna tell you something. And don't even try to not say it, Lightning. If Queen Mother was not on it, I know you would have had a whole big old mouthful, but you did not, and I appreciate that. See, this goes back to saying that, we have beautiful people, and this is the thing right here. The war that we have to fight is really the war that we have to clear up what's inside of ourselves, right? There's really not a war out there. I think that war that they talk about, I think that we probably, because of all of our energy and everything else, we kind of like put it together like that. I think that if we actually took the time out and blocked all of this mayhem out of our thought process, and I say that we can try it for 3 days as a collective, and then maybe go into 7, and then of course we're gonna get to the 9. And I think that we can master all this, and it goes into the point that you're gonna be able to actually manifest everything that you want right at your disposal. And you know it has happened. You know it has happened. Come on, think back. I think a lot of times we continue because of all the crap that we go through in life. We don't think about the good things that has happened in our life. We don't think about the gratitude we're supposed to show each other. We don't think about the times that we smile. We're always thinking about the anger and the frustration, and it will keep you there, because as long as you stay in that dark side, you're not going to be able to see the light, and you got to get through the light, right? Because don't forget, you already went through the dark, but now it's time for you to get to the light. But anyway, that's some spiritual stuff, or however, whatever. Queen Mother, you want to respond? You understand what I'm talking about. You got to get to the light. You got to get to the light. You know what I mean? Always stay to the light. That doesn't mean you don't know what goes on in the dark, right? And it does not mean that you do not have the ability to fight against the dark, because they're coming for you. Oh, yeah, they coming for you. They come in all shapes, sizes, colors, everything else. They come in family members, right? You know what I'm saying? And you got to have that within you, but you always got to stay to the wholesome side of who we are as a being, because the one time that we turn around and we make ourselves submissive and turn around and do their behavior, we have lost. They have stolen it. We have lost again. We master, but we never conform to any oppressor's behavior. And I yield.
Well, all right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to get Lightning's closing comments after I get mine. And I just want to say, for once, in a long time.
Shabaka, you see me.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Brother Paris. I'm sorry. Yeah, you've been sitting in the wings, brother. Go ahead.
He wanted to go first. Go ahead, Lady Trey.
I just want to say this. Black power, for sure. I want to say this, that we are in charge of our own empowerment. If we want to lead, we're going to lead. We're going to do something. We're in a different time zone. We're in a different time space of the veil. And the war is here. The revolution is here. We're here. We're in it. And it's on the last generation, which is us, Generation X, to make all this happen for the next following generation, because they are the ones that are not. If you really look at them, they're not ready. They're not going to be ready, and we're going to have to fight this fight for them as they watch us and get educated. Because at this point in time, programming has had its way to where they're different. They're different type of element growing up now. It's very hard to reach, very hard to talk to, and they don't take constructive criticism or anything very well. This generation is under millennial or X. I'm a Generation X, 1980.
Yeah,
so
XYZ.
So the youngins are the ones that are supposed to be our future, and at this rate, we're seeing that they can be groomed and led in the worst directions because of programming and the schooling system, the indoctrination, of all that. And it leads me to say this, is that all the knowledge that we're learning now in this phase as grown Black adults, we have to really, really absorb every piece of information, take what we need, take what we can use, and really absorb, because if we're not listening, learning, and paying attention, then we're gonna miss something, and that's gonna be it. We gotta pay attention to the weather, and we gotta pay attention to what's happening, all over outside, the politics and whatnot, and what's really happening, what they don't tell us with the environment, on the satellites and whatnot. Those things are very, very important, and it's all designed to eradicate our race, and we can't let that happen. Never. We won't submit. So, Black Power. Stay blessed, stay Black, and have a good evening.
All right, thank you, Lady Che. All right, my closing is the Creator gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. That means we're supposed to listen twice as much as we speak. Now, with that being said, appreciate you having me on, Shabaki. Make sure y'all join us this Friday for Grand Rising with Shabaki and the Chays. And it's always a pleasure being on here with Black Joe, Naya, the Queen Mother, Dynamite, and the Shabaka, of course. Right. So, appreciate you having me on, Shabaka. We're going to have to talk off the air about some things, but I appreciate you having me on. And I'll catch you on the next one.
All right. Okay, thank you, Brother Che. Okay, so what it is, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like this show is a wrap for tonight. The air date of this episode is
You
July.
sound low, Shabaka. Shabaka, you want to come on X?
Okay, when you doing X, sister?
Well, I guess after you finish here, we might as well jump on X and finish the conversation and shake it up on Twitter.
You got
Anybody want to turn around and shake it up on Twitter?
Yeah, you got
invite everybody in there. We might get.
She does have a Twitter space.
Okay, can she put the channel in the chat?
Tell Black Joe
is my ancestor.
No, Joe is right about this one right here. If you don't learn from history, you will repeat it. And I believe it was either the X-Man and or the Queen Mother that said it. Oh, and by the way, has anybody thought about wishing Asada Shakur a happy 78th birthday, by the way?
We already did that already. You late. Ain't that right, Queen Mother? Come on, we already did that. Ain't that right, Queen Mother?
Yeah, Black Power.
We was already on that. You late.
We did it on your birthday.
We already did that.
Oh, okay. All right. So I guess I was on a late break. That means that I'm getting old. Okay, so we're gonna bid everybody good night.
That's right, brother.
Dynamite.
If you don't learn from history, we'll repeat.
That is a fact. Okay, actually, that's the
appreciate everybody coming on.
Yeah. Okay. So Black Lightning, you pretty much are monitored, not cussing and stuff like that. So how do we grade the show tonight, Black Lightning?
I think pretty good.
Everybody is echoing out there. Everybody got a
echoing.
Okay, somebody.
I'm put this on as my closing right here.
They're in the sand.
The animals are leaving Yellowstone Park.
Maybe they want to get in here. You guys. No, just for protection. Oh,
Oh, the buffaloes is on
What do
the
the
stampede.
animals know?
they're in the.
Yeah, buffaloes is on the stampede. Okay, everybody.
There ain't no buffaloes on the stampede. That's how we need to be. So them jokers can.
They know what time it is. They know what time to get up out of there.
Yep.
Exit
then-
out of the community.
Okay, and then also too, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ready to end this stream, and yeah, we are at war, Black Joe. That is for real. Okay, so I'm gonna ask everybody on their platforms out there to share this episode, share it and reshare this, because I just want to see how much feedback we're getting, and then of course we want to assess of how bad we're being shadow banned as well too. So everybody, this is Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. Okay, then everybody, a good night from Sin City.
Mr. Chairman, and to the Credentials Committee, my name is Mrs. Fannie Lou Hamer, and I live at 626 East Lafayette Street, Rooseville, Mississippi. Sunflower County, the home of Senator James O. Eastman and Senator Stennis. It was the 31st of August in 1962 that 18 of us traveled 26 miles to the county courthouse in Indianola to try to register to become first-class citizens. We was met in Indianola by policemen, highway patrolmen, and they only allowed 2 of us in to take the literacy test at the time. After we had taken this test and started back to Rooseville, we was held up by the city police and the state highway patrolmen and carried back to Indianola, where the bus driver was charged that day was driving a bus the wrong color. After we paid the fine among us, we continued on to Rooseville, and Reverend Jess Tunney carried me 4 miles in the rural area where I had worked as a timekeeper and sharecropper for 18 years. I was met there by my children that told me the plantation owner was angry because I had gone down, tried to register. After they told me, my husband came and said the plantation owner was raising Cain because I had tried to register. And before he quit talking, the plantation owner came and said, Fannie Lou, do you know, did Pap tell you what I said? And I said, yes, sir. He said, well, I mean that if you don't go down and withdraw your registration, you will have to leave. That then if you go down and withdraw, that you still might have to go because we're not ready for that in Mississippi. And I addressed him and told him that I didn't try to register for you. I tried to register for myself. I had to leave that same night. On the 10th of September 1962, 16 bullets were fired into the home of Mr. and Mrs. Robert Tucker for me. That same night, 2 girls were shot in Rooseville, Mississippi. Also, Mr. Joe McDonald's house was shot in. In June the 9th, 1963, I had attended a voter registration workshop, was returning back to Mississippi. 10 of us was traveling by the Continental Trailway bus. When we got to Winona, Mississippi, which is Montgomery County, 4 of the people got off to use the washroom. And 2 of the people to use the restaurant. 2 of the people wanted to use the washroom. The 4 people that had gone in to use the restaurant was ordered out. During this time, I was on the bus. But when I looked through the window and saw they had rushed out, I got off of the bus to see what had happened. And one of the ladies said it was a state highway patrolman and a chief of police ordered us out. I got back on the bus, and one of the persons had used the washroom got back on the bus too. As soon as I was seated on the bus, I saw when they began to get the 5 people in a highway patrolman's car. I stepped off of the bus to see what was happening, and somebody screamed from the car that the fire workers was in and said, "Get that one there." And when I went to get in the car, when the man told me I was under arrest, he kicked me. I was carried to the county jail and put in the booking room. They left some of the people in the booking room and began to place us in cells. I was placed in a cell with a young woman called Missy Bester Simpson. After I was placed in the cell, I began to hear sounds of licks and screams. I could hear the sounds of licks and horrible screams. And I could hear somebody say, "Can you say yes, sir, nigga? Can you say yes, sir?" And they would say other horrible names. She would say, "Yes, I can say yes, sir." So, "Well, say it." She said, "I don't know you well enough." They beat her I don't know how long. And after a while, she began to pray and ask God to have mercy on those people. And it wasn't too long before 3 white men came to my cell. One of these men was a state highway patrolman. And he asked me where I was from. And I told him Roosevelt. He said, "We're going to check this." And they left my cell, and it wasn't too long before they came back. He said, "You were from Roosevelt, all right," and he used a curse word. And he said, "We're going to make you wish you was dead." I was carried out of that cell into another cell where they had 2 Negro prisoners. The state highway patrolman ordered the first Negro to take the blackjack. The first Negro prisoner ordered me, by orders from the state highway patrolman, for me to lay down on a bunk bed on my face. And I laid on my face. The first Negro began to beat. And I was beat by the first Negro until he was exhausted. I was holding my hands behind me at that time on the left side because I suffered from polio when I was 6 years old. After the first Negro had beat until he was exhausted, the state highway patrolman ordered the second Negro to take the blackjack. The second Negro began to beat, and I began to work my feet. And the state highway patrolman ordered the first Negro had beat to sit on my feet, to keep me from working my feet. I began to scream, and one white man got up and began to beat me in my head and tell me to hush. One white man, my dress had worked up high. He walked over and pulled my dress. I pulled my dress down, and he pulled my dress back up. I was in jail when Medgar Evers was murdered. All of this is on account of we want to register to become first-class citizens. And if the Freedom Democratic Party is not seated now, I question America. Is this America, the land of the free and the home of the brave, where we have to sleep with our telephones off of the hook because our lives be threatened daily because we want to live as decent human beings in America? Thank you.
Fannie Lou Hamer.